Thanks for watching Lucas Oil on the Edge. I told you we had 2 outstanding events, and it's time to deliver the second one. We're going jet boat racing with the super modified class. This is known as the Chevy 350 class. A maximum of 368 cubic inches are allowed. 18 boats are entered today, and only 8 are eligible to race in the elimination rounds.
Change it up now. Ken Stout and Brian Olson ready to call the action for you from the General Tire Jet Boat Race. It's the Supermods. They're in the house from St. John's Sprint Boat Track in St. John, Washington. Yeah, this draws a crowd, and rightfully so. If you love excitement, speed, and boat racing, you're going to love what we're about to bring you.
Yeah, we go from the dirt to the water. There are several crazy things about this track. 30 turns. You can make it about 45 seconds. The wild part is the racers don't know what it looks like until they get here.
The track behind me is known as Webb's Slough out here just outside of Spokane, Washington. And it's a driver's track. It's narrow, lots of hairpin turns, and today we're looking at the super modified class, also known as the Chevy 350. The cubic inch limit is 368 inches. They can use alloy heads, gas only, but these babies have a lot of power. We're talking upwards of 700 horsepower in a 13-foot boat, and they only weigh 1,300 pounds with the driver and the navigator. What does that equal? Well, we're talking about almost 80 miles an hour on the straightaway and 4 to 6 G's in the turns.
All right, here we go. Supermod round 1. Scott Ackerman and Mike Hall. There's immediate horsepower. And talk about something that can turn on a dime.
And Ken, as you well know, the small block Chevrolet is one of the quickest engines to react. If you keep the motor spinning, these are carbureted machines. You got to keep the motor spinning. They'll make plenty of power. You find the torque curve, you'll find your horsepower range, and you will know exactly how high to spin these motors to make them fast.
Rob Cox and Amanda Vestal is up next, and again, they do use those roll cages when things go wrong. As you can see, this course is extremely narrow. It only takes a mistake of a mere split second for you to end up on the grass, on the beach, and on your lid.
And also remember this, as Dylan Cummings and Terry Cummings make their run, you can see the navigator using his hand or her hand, whatever the case might be, to show the driver which way to go. See, great example right there. Go straight ahead.
And turn left.
And wrap it up. And remember now, we're running against the clock here, not against another competitor. This is the way you go from round to round.
Corey Johnson and Gary McNeil, I mean on the hammer hard right here. Look at this thing.
Again, remember, for the most part, they're all fuel injected. A 368 is an overboard 350. Bigger rods, bigger piston, longer stroke, and a small block Chevrolet on board. Now they're both waving. I love it.
And you can see the attitude of that boat as the center of the boat is definitely in the water to help that thing turn just a little bit quicker, so setup is always critical.
This indeed looks to be a carbureted machine as well. These are the machines that will move into the semis.
We're narrowing the field down in the super modified class. The leaders going into round 2 are Corey Johnson and Gary McNeil with a blistering 46.213 second run. Coming in 4th with a 48.726 first round time was the team of Scott Ackerman and Mike Hall. Scott's a longtime competitor and always in contention for a win.
Normally you'd be insulted if they called you a 2-pump chump, but now when it comes to sprint boat racing, I'm with the 2-pump chump, and number 17, Scott Ackerman. 2006, you were a rookie, national champ winner, and you just keep going.
Yeah, it's been a great year this year, but all of our race seasons, we've placed 5th or better, and we took 2nd our very first race.
Not too bad. Beginner's luck, I doubt it. You're pretty good at what you do. Also helps to have a good navigator. Talk about how important your navigator is on these courses.
The navigator actually reminds the driver where he's supposed to go, or she, and we end up making passes that aren't correct, and so you have to go in and get your head straight. So the hand communication has to be right there.
We're talking 30 to 40 seconds is all it's going to take to go around this course, and that's got to go in like the blink of an eye for you.
Yeah, we actually say that we go 0 to 70 in 30 to 40 feet, 0 to 70 in 3 seconds. It's very fast.
And as well as these things handle is just mind-boggling as we watch Rob Cox and Amanda Vestal once again. down there on the bottom. Gives you a indicator of how long it takes them to run this course. And I've got to tell you, Brian, every time I watch them, I still don't understand how they can remember where to go.
I don't either. Of course, I got a bad memory, and there's no reason for that. Whoa!
And that's how quickly it can go wrong.
Just like that. And they were very fortunate that thing didn't high-side itself. Wow, semifinals in the Supermod. Scott Ackerman, Mike Hall, here we go.
Quick pedal job right there, a little bit wide on that turn. And keep in mind, I mean, we're looking for tenths of a second here.
Yeah, even thousands in some cases. In that situation, though, Ken, I would say probably a 10 to 1500 loss. When you got to pedal that throttle, the key to this thing is to have it as wide open as you can throughout the whole course.
At the end of round one, it was Johnson and McNeil who had the quickest time at 46.213. So that's what these guys are aiming for, to get down there in the mid-40s. Again, you watch the glove of the navigator and just slight hand movements, but it's really just a reminder, okay, this is where we're going next.
And Ackerman and Hall actually were the slowest to make their way into the semifinals. And again, as you watch them slow that thing down, they go 48.577. That is the only way you get them stopped. You basically spin them out.
And as it stands right now, I mean, they really only have to beat one other boat to make it into the final, because we saw Cox and Vestal go off course. They did not finish. All right, here comes Cummings and Cummings. We'll find out if they can lay down a little quicker time and secure a spot in the final.
The previous round, Cummings and Cummings at 47.57. Again, the Johnson and Field team is the one to beat based on round number one only.
Well, it looks like they are just absolutely perfect. So you just got to really nail this thing. Those little corrections are costing thousandths of a second, hundreds, and of course eventually add up to tenths, and that is the difference at the end of the day.
When you hear those RPMs stay up like that, Ken, that can only be good for this team. And they've been up for the biggest share of the run. That's a good number.
47.25 seconds will be good enough to get into the final, as there is only one other boat yet to go, and they just surpassed Ackerman and Hall's 48.57. So now we'll find out if Johnson and McNeil can get back down to 46 again as they did in round number one. And this boat was visibly faster in round one.
Yeah, at 46.21, it definitely is the boat to beat right here. But again, all it takes is the bobble, as you mentioned before. To lose a hundredth or a tenth, and there's one there.
Yeah, I mean, a little breathe of the throttle right there could be all it takes. Remember, they had to beat Ackerman and Hall's time of 48.57 if we're going to make it into the final.
They're on a pretty good run right here. I mean, again, if the RPMs stay up and you don't hear them feathering that throttle and it's robbing it back and forth, particularly in the corners, it'll be a good run. And this is one here. How about another 46-second run at 46.99? A little bit slower than round one, but a great run nonetheless.
They are the boat to beat going into the final round. Wild stuff going on here. We'll be right back.
We're down to two boats in the super modified final event. Dylan and Terry Cummings will be facing off against Corey Johnson and Gary McNeil. The Cummings team has yet to break into the 46-second zone in any of their previous runs. But on the other hand, Johnson and McNeil have been running those low numbers all day. Anything can happen here in St. John. One wrong turn and your day is done.
Time for the final in the super mods, and here's how they got there. Cummings and Cummings will take on Johnson and McNeil. And the Cummings pair with a 47.25 second semifinal run to the 46.99 of Johnson and McNeil. Johnson and McNeil with a 46.21 in round one. So there's more left there for both competitors.
Now you might think when you see that green flag drop that will actually start the timers. Timers don't start till you pass a photocell and infrared beam with the boat itself. So it is very, very accurate timing at the start, Ken, as well as the finish line.
If at all possible, to keep that thing right in the center. Apex will turn perfectly, end up right in the center, so you don't have to lift it all.
Oh, there was a bobble. Just a little one right there on the corner. Otherwise, It's a pretty good-looking run. Should be a good number.
Well, it will certainly be a competitive number, to say the very least. The time of 46.64, a substantial increase here. A great job there for Cummings and Cummings. They just sent a loud message to Johnson and McNeil, basically saying, you better bring your A game and be perfect. And I don't know, that was a big mistake right there.
It did look like it, but I don't think it cost them that much time. I mean, this is the most consistent machine and the quickest machine. The Cummings team made their best run, so it's going to be pretty tough to beat them. But this 55 machine of Johnson and McNeil has run the best numbers previous 2 rounds.
Great battle going on here in the final.
I like that stealth-looking gray with that silver leaf lettering. Isn't it cool?
It's a sharp-looking ride. More importantly, it performs as good as it looks.
Definitely. Got the upswept header for obvious reasons.
They're calling it out right there. They feel good about their run, man. And rightfully so. How about that? They are going to steal it by 0.3 of a second. Congratulations to Johnson and McNeil.
You do it so many times, man, that you know it when it's a good run. I don't know how you can tell when it's 0.3 of a second. Now, I know you can tell it on a drag strip, but on one of these courses, Ken, I have no idea how you can tell you do that good.
Awesome stuff right there. Very exciting racing.
You guys were on it all day, but man, did they give you a run.
Did they ever? He had me last weekend, you know, and I was going out of the spin-up pool. I looked at his time, and I knew he had a 46.6, so I had to put everything I had down. That's what I love about it, man. It's awesome racing. You know, they've got rules for the engines, so everything's got to be pretty close. So it's more or less how smooth can you be around that track. That's
Congratulations, bro.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Very good job,
Number
man.
1, Richmond Engines.
Thanks for watching this episode of Lucas Oil on the Edge. For Ken Stout, Brian Olson, Lurch, and Ted Brunson, I'm Jamie Howe.